Welcome to the Bishop Exchange. I'm John Bishop in England, and I'm joined by Des Bishop in America, and we're joined by Bradley Hurley in what looks like his mum's kitchen in Liverpool.
The independent Republic of Liverpool.
Yes. Where are you, Brad? I haven't seen you in that room before.
You have, but this is my childhood bedroom.
Oh,
That's your childhood bedroom. You know why I've not noticed? Because you've gone so thin, I'm seeing more of the room now behind you. It just used to be your big head. Now I can see what's behind.
That's funny.
how much weight have you lost?
Yeah, nearly 3 stone.
What?
Nearly 3 stone.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
It's
hard,
like
isn't it?
6. I'm like 6 pounds from
And
being
I
3
haven't
stone.
seen it for ages, have I? But I'm going to see you. Well, I'm going to see it at the Leicester Square warm-ups so... And it must
You won't
be,
see me.
I won't see. Yeah, I'll see some clothes float in.
You'll just hear a little Camp Scouse accent.
Yeah,
Who's that?
hiding
Who's
behind
that?
the mic stand.
That sounds like a memory of Brad. Where is he? So I'll see you. I'll see you then, won't I? So that's in a couple of weeks. That'll be the first time. So that'll be a shock.
I need to get some new clothes. Some clothes
that-
that
that's
fit me
what
new
happened.
frame.
No, I'm only going to let you come on tour if you wear all the clothes you wore on the last
Stay
tour.
in me out.
Because even on the last tour, you lost weight on tour.
know.
And how are you feeling?
Feel good, feel better. You know what? I feel like I have body dysmorphia, like the wrong way, where like when I was fat, I thought I was thin, and then I'd see pictures of myself and be like, have they like edited me to look fat on this picture?
Well, Hannah has a joke about that she has reverse body dysmorphia.
Oh, really?
That she
It's
thinks
such
she's
a
hotter
thing.
than she is.
Yeah, like I would look in the mirror and think like I look good today, and then someone would take a picture of me, and I'd be like, oh,
Well, that used to not matter because how you perceived yourself is what matters. But now this world has become so visual that you become so aware of how you look in a picture.
yeah.
And
Also, my boss forced me to start doing a podcast and be
Yeah,
judged
yeah,
every
yeah.
week by the
That's
the
it.
public.
That's it, yeah. This is
So
actually
I
a
have to do
result
something
of...
about it.
This is a positive result of workplace bullying. Everyone goes on about the negativity. This is the positive. So if you've got someone that you work with who's carrying a few pounds, bully them.
Get
You
them to do
never
a
know.
podcast.
For their own good, bully them.
For the record, it was not from bullying. It's because you kept having to look at yourself, right, Brad?
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think so.
problem. We're all looking at
Yeah.
ourselves all the time.
But Brad will say it. That's what I'm like when he's looked at doing. Because if people don't know, Bradley works looking after all of my social media as well. So when he first started working and he was editing things, I was going, I look fat in that. I look fat in that. Not whether
too.
it was funny or not. Not whether people liked it. It only went out if I didn't look too fat in it.
I nearly didn't put up my full special that has like really done well for me in America. I nearly didn't put it up because of I in certain angles I had like a double chin, and when I turned my head to the side, you could see like wrinkles on the side of my neck, and I was like, I'm not fucking putting this up. I'm not even kidding. Like I like Hannah literally had to force me. She was like, "This is good, trust me."
Yeah.
I think I told this story before, but also the suit that I had bought to wear, it turned out the zipper was a Hugo Boss suit. It was a good suit, but the zipper was just like a little off. So it kind of looked like it was unzipped. It wasn't, but it looked like it was unzipped. And I also nearly didn't put up because of that. And I was convinced that all the comments were going to be like, this guy's zipper's open. And I think maybe
I know, but
there
it's
was
mad because it's things that no one would ever notice. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that
20
you notice
million
about
views,
yourself.
20 million views on my dirty going down video. And maybe there's 2 comments about the zipper.
Yeah. But I love the title. I love the title of that bit, my dirty going down video. I've got 20 million views on I haven't put out a dirty going down video yet. But if it gets that kind of traffic, you never know.
20 million. And then I put up a trial reel and it's got 9 million on the trial reel. 29 million people have watched this video about tips for men going down on women.
What does that tell you? 29 million people have watched your tips on oral sex for men with women, which shows how big a problem it is.
Well, actually, it's a joke. It's a joke like about like kind of when it goes wrong. It's just a joke. It's a funny, relatable joke. But what's so funny is the amount of people that take it seriously in the comments. So there'll be all these women be like, no, she's moving because you're doing it wrong. And it's like, okay, I think you'll find I'm a comedian and the audience are laughing and this has 20 million views. I know what I'm doing. Okay. There's a lot of women out there with men that don't know what they're doing. Then there's a lot of men down there that don't know what they're doing. And they're all identifying with my stupid joke. Of which the punchline is
funny though.
Well, go ahead.
The punchline is what?
Well, the punchline is because I keep losing the spot, and I say it's like Top Gun. It's like Goose. I can't get a lock on this. I can't get a lock. Which I was worried that the Gen Zs wouldn't get, but it seems that they get the Top Gun reference.
Goose is back, isn't he? Goose is back. But also, it's interesting that you look at them and respond, because I don't look at responses to things. I leave Brad to tell me if there's somebody really hates me, but I saw a thing that Jason Manford, and for people not from the UK know, he's a good comedian that we've both worked with and know. And I just saw a response that he did to somebody who said, I came to see you in Preston 2 years ago, and then I turned on the television and there was a special that you'd done on television and you told the same jokes. He said, you told the same jokes. Is it just one trick pony? And Jason went, well, the show that you came to 2 years ago, we recorded, and what you watched was a recording of that tour. And you've watched it 2 years later, and that's where the jokes are the same. And that's how time works.
That's funny.
I had loads of that, because when I first broke out in Ireland, Brad, the big routine I had was about immersion heating, which actually never worked as well in the UK, except for Glasgow and Liverpool, which I think says something about the socioeconomic status of these working class cities more north of London. But when I did Liverpool and I did Glasgow, they got the immersion joke. But for a lot of the UK, there wasn't as much of a reliance on immersion heating. Anyway, that was my big joke. And I haven't done it live since probably 2004. But I still, to this day, on videos, get people going, is he still going on about the immersion? Is he?
Really?
I'm like, no, you're just watching the same DVD that was recorded in 2003, bro.
It's coming around. It's interesting because this tour I'm doing is going to be like a bit of a celebration. So I am getting the opportunity, if you like, to do a Greatest Hits tour. But you look at it and think, I can't remember saying that. I can't remember saying this. And then what happened on Monday, I was in Manchester at the Frog and Bucket, and I was doing some filming for the One Show, this magazine show that's going out on Friday to just remind people that the tour's kicking off. And so they filmed at the One Show. They filmed, at the Frog and Bucket, and it was the open mic night that night. They call it Beat the Frog. And oh God, here's a sign. I learned that sign today because I was telling my mate Gavin about it today. So I asked him what the sign was for frog. This is the sign for frog.
That's good.
So the comedy
which
club
is if a deaf person did that to me, I'm like, you saying I have a fucking double chin? It's one of my big it's one of my big issues.
Yeah, for people listening, what it is, you take your dominant hand, your right or left hand, you put it under your chin and you just pull your neck away like a frog's gum.
Like a frog's gum.
You do that. And so
which I think is it's like an insult in Italy, isn't it? It's like, it's more like that.
Yeah, good to me. Come in.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Oh, here we go again. Here we go.
So the venue's the Frog and Bucket. Bucket is like a handle, but I've got to tell you this though. Before we move on, I'll tell you the rest of the story. The sign that I got today. I said, because me and Gavin were talking and saying, look, what we'll try and do is that as an experiment, we'll do like a joint headline gig or something to a deaf and hearing audience where we he'll have to have somebody speaking for him, or I'll try and sign my bit. As in, it'll only work if we get lots of deaf people in there. We'll try and do a small audience. And I'm doing all this, and because basically we have a Zoom, and it's all signed, and he can lip read me, but I have to try and sign, and he doesn't speak anyway. So it's all I'm trying to interpret, and I didn't know the sign for experiments. So I went so I spelled it out. So I was, it's going like EXPER, IEN. He went, oh, and he went, I went, what's that? And he went, that's the experiment. The sign for experiment is you close one eye, you stick your tongue out, and then you put your finger under your eye like a pirate and go.
You have to stick your tongue out?
You have to stick your tongue out.
Oh, I didn't know that your tongue was part of signing.
Oh, God, yeah. That's when persuade. Persuade is where you stroke your finger. Haven't I shown you the sign for persuade? Oh, mate, it's the best sign ever. You take your non-dominant hand, right,
Yeah.
and you put it. Bear in mind, this is the sign for persuade. So to persuade, you take your non-dominant hand, so you take your forefinger, then you stroke it with your other hand, and whilst you stroke it, you must put your tongue out the side of your mouth and go,
Right.
can I persuade you to come to bed?
Wow. That sounds like it's very like my going down
That's
bit.
true. That's what.
It's very like my going down bit.
Let's see if we get 29 million views on that clip. but anyway, so I was at the Frog and Bucket. So it was the open mic night. So I got up during the open mic night, and it was just brilliant to be in that club again. Because I've done this week over at the Comedy Cell, and you think, comedy clubs in New York are fantastic. To be in the comedy club where it started, and it be rammed, and doing a proper gig on a Monday night, it was just great.
Plus you're in the UK, you got all the references, you don't have to fucking ask.
Yeah, everything was easy, yeah, it was good, really good. So,
by the way, just while it's still on my mind, recently I was doing a gig in Ireland, and at the end of the gig I was messing around, and the audience were like, do the immersion routine.
No.
And I said, I'm not fucking doing the immersion routine because one of you'll fucking film it, put it on the internet, and all those fucking haters will be like, see, he's still fucking talking about the immersion.
No, Des, you don't look the same.
No, they say he's still doing the immersion now. He's gray and old. He's still fucking going on about the immersion. By the way, my other funny thing about, hate comments is sometimes people will be like, is he still doing the whole American and Ireland thing? I'll be like, you mean, am I still myself? Yeah, that's the one thing I'm not going to be able to change.
Okay,
Sorry,
exactly. Sometimes I've had that. He's still talking about his wife and kids. And you think, well, because they're still here. You know what I mean? Like when they're not here, I might talk about something else. But, what else have I got?
Well, that's what makes me laugh.
It's
too,
like
sometimes.
you're still living your life.
Yeah, you're still the same person that you were.
Yeah.
That makes me laugh too sometimes about how people will be judgmental about certain subjects, but other subjects not judgmental. And it's like, well, these are the experiences in life that people have. So like sometimes a comic will have kids. They'll start joking about having kids, and people are like, oh, another fucking comic joking about having kids. And I'll be like, yeah, another comic having one of the biggest experiences of a human life. Probably one of the top 5 things that will happen in their existence. And most of humanity will also have that experience. And here's their take on this incredibly relatable experience. Who the fuck do they think they are?
I know, but that's what I mean. Imagine them going, look, I just don't do kid material. We got a kid, but it's not. Kid material's not me. People, they want me to do about cars, so I'll just carry on. It's like,
actually, that was the latest, my latest peeve. Not an important peeve, but my latest peeve is people have kids, well-known people, and I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but you know who you are. Well-known people have kids, right? And they post a picture with their kid, but they cover the kid's face.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I got a better solution. Just don't fucking post the picture with the kid.
Put the picture.
Like,
don't pixelate
why
the kid.
Because now it's like, oh, I'm keeping my kid's secret.
Really?
No, it's like, no, you're not. You're being weird about it.
You've got an ugly kid that you're embarrassed about. You're pixelating the poor runt. You say, look at the ugly. I've got one, but it's too ugly for you to see.
Yeah, so I'd rather put a smiley face,
Yeah,
you know, a
smiley,
yellow
yeah.
happy face over this kid. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I get why they're doing it, but it's also like, just don't post that picture. You know, you don't have to post that part of your life.
No, that's the thing. You don't have to post that part of your life, and that's the difficulty with it. You know, there's a big campaign over there that's kicking off to start getting mobile phones banned in schools.
Yes, we
which
talked
I
about
would
that
be
before.
a huge advocate of. You know,
Yes.
it was just on the news again today that they were talking about it.
Yeah, because it's a story here too, for sure.
Yeah, you know, it's a necessity. It's something that needs, I think, to happen because parents are being asked to manage it. Teachers are being asked to manage stuff that they didn't experience themselves. We're living in a world we didn't grow up in, so we don't know how to manage it. Because if you just say you can't have a phone, it takes it out. But that comes back to the frog and bucket. In America, you're doing the comedy cell and so on. Everyone has to put the phone in an envelope. In a frog and bucket, you order drinks at the table by a QR code.
Oh, by the QR code, yeah.
So you think, well, everyone's got a phone. So I walk on everything. Obviously, everyone gets the phone up. You go, well,
I know.
it kind of
Makes you nervous.
yeah. You think, I don't do, you know. But
I want to try out a new joke. It might not go well, and somebody's might like John Bishop's dying on his hole.
He's dying on his hole.
You know?
Listen, that would
Honestly,
not be
the thing
biggest
about
problem.
me is, if I have a kid, I'm so paranoid about being old. If I have a kid, I'm going to post a picture of me holding a kid. I'm going to put the smiley face over my face, you know, because I'm going to be like tired, fucking trying to look after this kid. You know, I'm all like, you know, rings around my eyes.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, this is my beautiful kid. Here's my fucking head. You can.
No, you know what you'll do? You'll be walking around with a ring light permanently in front of you.
That's actually
There's a business in it.
portable, battery-powered portable ring lights that are light that you could just carry around over your
Well,
face.
you can hang off your cap.
Yeah.
Off the
Dude,
peak
that's-
of your cap. with a
This is
little
like a
light,
Shark Tank. No, you guys think I'm joking?
Shark Tanks are
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's
Oh,
Den.
Dragon's
yeah,
Den. Is it the same show?
Yeah, where you pitch something. I think we should pitch the portable ring light, and it's something that you just hang around, or something that you have on your phone, and then if you see so you go like that, and then it pops up, goes. Doop, and then
Yeah,
it
I mean, they do have.
so it
they
can
do
look
have
like a necklace.
They have phone ring light attachments. They do have those.
Yeah.
But no, I want like one that you could carry around like an umbrella. Actually, photographers use umbrellas for lighting. I think we should just get umbrellas that are also good lighting.
I tell you what.
What?
Get back to Aiden's idea. An umbrella with a charger in it and good lighting.
That's my brother Aiden said that he had this idea to have a beach umbrella that also like accentuates your mobile service. But you know, we
That's a
don't want
good
to blow
idea.
up, we don't want to blow up Aiden's idea, you know?
No. But we're becoming very umbrella focused.
I mean, listen, we're vain, man. This podcast embraces vanity.
Yeah.
You know? Here's the thing.
When we get a
Middle-aged
sponsor, it should
men-
be Nivea for men.
I did a voiceover in Ireland years ago. Nivea for men, aftershave balm for men who dare to care. And then my cousin Mick Gibney, God rest him, he would always make fun of me because they would play it at halftime at the rugby matches in Lansdowne Road. And he would hear my voice coming on and he'd be like, I'm trying to watch the rugby. And I hear Des going, for men who dare to care. And he would like, he would exaggerate my New York accent. Nivea for men, aftershave balm for men who dare to care. Hey, I'm a fan of skincare, man. I've always been a moisturizer.
Gotta
You know?
moisturize. Gotta
But
moisturize.
this is a podcast for middle-aged men who are vain and Gen Zs who are also vain.
Yeah. We moisturize. Bradley goes on hunger strike.
It's like,
There's levels of vanity.
Michael Fassbender is going to play him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, what are we going to talk about anyway?
actually, do you ever hear like a clean like joke that you could tell your friends, and you go, actually, that's a good one. You know, do you ever get like a good one that you're like, this needs to be shared? So I heard a good one the other day, which is Jesus and the 12 apostles walk into a restaurant, and the maitre d' says, table for 13, and Jesus says, no, 25. We all like to sit on the one side. I was like, that's a good joke.
That's a
And it's
very
clean
good
and
joke.
it's not offensive. You
Where
know?
did that come from? You know
So
where
I
that
said,
came
I
from?
said, actually, the buddy who shared it with me, it's not his joke either. His name's Mike Conway, and he's a Londoner that lives over here now, and he shared the joke. Chelsea fan, sorry about that part, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's
That's
very
funny.
rare. It's rare that you hear one that's like you want to share. You know?
Yeah, that's a good joke.
I can't remember the last one I heard before that.
No,
Not that we're at the stage of this podcast where they're like, yo, you got any jokes? But it's just popped into hey, yo, I don't know what we're going to talk about. You guys got, you hear any good jokes lately?
Good jokes. Any jokes?
But no, but that one's worth sharing because it's like clean. You could tell that joke to your kids, you know? I mean, they would have to have a knowledge of, do you know what my kid joke is? That, you know, like 6, 7-year-old kid, you know, the way it's a funny development in a kid's life where they get into jokes.
Yeah.
And then you can go on like websites for like the kid joke, the jokes that suit kids. This is the one I always tell. What do you call a fake noodle?
Don't know.
An impasta. So anyway, it really works well in a New York accent.
Yeah, but it works well with 6-year-olds who are culinary aware and can like
No, because the kids
understand pasta, noodles, and what's fake and what's real. There's
do.
A lot to,
they like those kind of jokes, John.
No, I went.
It wasn't really
I
about
went
whether
to
the
my
kids like
old-
it or not. It's a
I
good,
went to my
good
old
joke.
junior
just
school.
before we move on, you got to acknowledge it's a good joke.
I went to my old. We would call it junior school. I don't know what you call it over there. So up to the age of 10, I went to my old school just before the summer, and I was just walking out of school with the teachers, just looking at things and whatever. And what it was actually is I'd got the Player of the Year trophy in 1977, I think. 77 or 78, something like that. Anyway,
Sporting career peak.
exactly. So
Player of the Year.
I had the trophy, and the reason I had the trophy is I went to see my old headmaster, and he gave it to me after he retired. This is donkeys and donkeys ago. I wrote an autobiography, and I included him in it, and so he gave it to me. So I thought, oh right, okay, I'll keep that. And then over the years, I thought, why am I keeping this? It's got all the other kids' names on who've won and stuff. So I'll take it back to the school. So I took it back to the school. I ended up getting the tour of the school, and I ended up going. And you get taken by the teachers into the classes. And obviously, the teachers know who you are, but the kids have got no idea.
Yeah, they
You know
have no
what I mean?
idea.
There's 6 and 7 and 8 and all that stuff. And so, and the teacher's going, oh, this is John. He used to go to this school, and he's on television now sometimes, aren't you? And they go, ooh, are you the weatherman? Oh, no, I'm not the weatherman. He said, and then they said, oh, he's a comedian. Oh, he tells jokes. And so this kid said, tell us a joke. There's the class of like 8-year-olds.
So what joke did you tell?
I just said that. I said that if you read, what did I say? I said if you read, I didn't know what to say. I didn't have a joke, so I said if you read the story about the dog and the clown, and he went no. I said the clown farted and the dog bit his bum. And the kids just thought it was the funniest thing ever because I
Farting
said
and
the
pooping.
word bum, clown, dog,
fart.
fart, and bite. I mean, how is that not gold dust?
I kill it.
Whereas you've got some fucking wordplay on food.
Listen, John, one of the worst things you can do as an entertainer is underestimate the intelligence of your audience. Just so you know.
Yeah, fair
No,
enough,
because
fair
you know
enough.
what it is? They like figuring out why it's funny, man. It's okay. Listen, I tell jokes to smarter kids than the kids in your junior school.
Exactly. You went to a better school, yeah.
All right, I'll
Mine
tell you
was-
the funniest moment I had. So my friend Christian Lozier, great kid I went to, coincidentally enough, I went to grammar school, which is what we call it over here, all through up until I was 12 years old, but we've remained friends still to this day. And I hadn't seen him in years, and I met his kid, honestly, he was like a bit of a genius, which Christian also was a bit of a genius. He was like an artistic genius. So anyway, I'm trying to think of a kid joke. And there was a kid joke from when I was a kid, which is, what did the candle say to the other candle? Did you guys have that one? What did the candle say to the other candle? And the answer is, are you going out tonight?
Yeah.
Right? So,
Good joke.
so I said, and I wasn't recording this. God, I wish I was recording it, because I feel like this is like kids say the darndest things moment. So I say to his son in the car, because he likes jokes, this kid's into jokes, right? So I said, what did the candle say to the other candle? And without a moment's hesitation, the kid goes, blow me. And I don't think he knew why that was so funny, because in his mind, it was like, you blow out a candle. But when he said blow me, and he said it like that too, because this kid's from Queens like me. Blow me. He goes, blow me. I don't think I've ever laughed as hard in
You know
all
the
my
problem
life.
is now, that's so funny, but it's there in my head now. So next time I'm in that school and one of the kids tell us a joke, I know it's going to be there.
You're going to say, what did the candle say to you? What did they say? What did they
blow me? Yeah, look, I got a picture. Look, there's the shield.
Oh, wow.
That was the shield that
Did
I
you
took
carry
back.
it through the hole?
Yeah. I said to the kids, put me on your shoulders. And it was 1977, 78, I won it. After me was Michael Murphy. I knew Murphy, yeah. And Neil Hamilton the year before. I knew both of them, but that was me. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'll tell you,
That's
my
back in
memory...
the made the show West School.
My memory of going back to St. Kevin's, which is where I went to school here as an adult, was how fucking small everything seemed. In my mind, the place was so much bigger. And when I was in it, it was like, I almost felt like, the 7th and a half floor in Being John Malkovich. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but everything felt tiny. I just couldn't believe how much smaller everything felt. I went back to St. Peter's College, Wexford. So when I went to boarding school in Ireland, I went to Wexford. And so I went back there in the same way as John, but like they were old enough that some of them were actually like excited to see me. But then I went into a first year class with Jerry Hawk was my teacher, who he was my favorite teacher, history teacher, but he was super intense. But it worked for me. I needed like intense people to get me to learn, right? And Jerry Hawk was intense, but like funny, you know? And still to this day, he's down as one of my all-time great teachers. And, but, he was like, I was there in the early 90s, like things were still a little old school, So he used to, you know what a Hurley is, right? It's not just your last name, Brad, but it's the sport of hurling, right?
Oh, hurling, yeah.
Yeah, hurling. So some people call it a Hurley, some people call it a hurl. It's one of the great debates in Ireland. But in the Gaeilge, it's called the come on. Anyway, I walk into these first years. They have no idea what's going on. They definitely don't know who I am. And it's Jerry Hawk's class. And I grabbed the Hurley and I smacked it on the desk like he used to do in the early 90s. But a lot has changed in 20 years. These kids were like, what the fuck? Of course, he thought it was hilarious, but the kids didn't know what was going on.
Did your teachers used to hit you?
Teachers used to hit you?
Yeah.
Oh, good topic, Brad.
Very good topic, Brad. Yes.
Did they?
Are you going to tell us something now that's going to start an inquiry? Did you used to get
all
it?
joking aside, talking about inquiries, you Google St. Peter's College, Wexford, and you'll see that the inquiries began. The beginning of it all is actually that school. But we're not getting heavy. We're not getting heavy. But on the more lighthearted topic of being hit as a child. So just very quickly, when I went to boarding school, we were still getting hit. And as an American, that to me was from a time long gone by. Like obviously my parents had gotten hit. And to me, it was like, if a teacher was like in any way aggressive in an American school, it was like, my dad's going to sue you. Like corporal punishment was just such a thing of the past. And it was like a thing where you would see these movies like, what was that movie like Heaven? Was it Heaven Help Us? Or, there was like boarding school movies from like the 60s and like kids got hit and shit. And that was just like something that you would see in the past. But when I went to boarding school, we were still getting hit. We used to get the strap. You know, I'm not going to name anybody. I opened my first special talking about it, but way back in 2003. But anyway, sometimes he would decide, the dean would decide that it was time, and he had a leather welt. He had a weapon for giving you the strap. It was like a leather welt, like a heavy leather strap thing, and you would get 2 on each hand. And it shocked me. It did shock me.
I bet it did.
I remember.
So how many times do you get it? Can you remember?
Well, let's just say some guys got hit more than others. And, the cheeky ones.
The cheeky ones who thought they were funny.
Well, all joking aside, that's why I opened my special. So I opened my 2003 special, Sold Out Vicar Street show. And I said that this particular priest always said, you're a loud-mouthed Yank. They called me the Yank, and he used to say, you're a loud-mouthed Yank, and one of these days, that big mouth is going to get you in trouble. And then I just opened my mouth, and the crowd cheered, and I was like, fuck you, motherfucker. But anyway, I was petty. I was pettier back in those days. Anyway, my favorite strap moment was I was in the study hall, and I don't know. I guess I had IBS, but nobody talked about IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Just in case John doesn't know what that is.
I do know what IBS is. Thank you very much. I worked in the medical profession. I've you know what I mean? And I've also stayed at your house.
So, anyway, I used to really load up on bread too, in the ref. Because it was like never enough food. So anyway, I would get very gassy in study hall, because study hall was after evening meal for 90 minutes, a break, and 90 minutes. And I could rip some great farts. And like, honestly, it sounds disgusting, but in adolescence, in an all-male boarding school in Ireland, is a great currency to be somebody who can rip good ones in study hall.
Yeah.
Because study hall's boring. And if you can rip good ones, particularly I would rip some loud ones that weren't that smelly, the ones that are like, they hurt in your stomach, but they come out with like just ferocious power. You know the ones I'm talking about? Not the hot ones. Yeah. Not the hot ones.
Not the hot ones.
You know what I'm saying? You know the ones I'm talking about.
There was a lad at our school who could fart on demand.
I was pretty close.
Farts on demand, and in the end, he stopped doing it because everyone was just going, fart. Can you fart? It's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, farts are funny when you're younger, man.
Yeah,
farts are younger when you're older too. I bet you everybody's laughing. Farts are funny, man.
So go on. So
anyway,
you had an array of farts.
The funny thing about our boarding school was so old school that we had the double desk, where you could open. So it was like a bench. So 2 of us sat on the one desk, but you each had your own opening on the thing, right? So old school desk, which, where the problem was that sometimes my buddy, I'm not going to name him, but he would try to like do like a silent one, but I could feel the vibration on the desk. So I was like, bro, I felt that. You're on the same plank of wood. Yeah, so you would do the desk like that to try to fan it away. For those that don't know, we're doing the hand motion of doing the desk up and down. So anyway, so I ripped. I don't know what was going on that day. The trap wind. I ripped, like, honestly, probably one of the top 5 farts in St. Peter's College history. I'm on the fart board. So much.
Have you got a shield as well at your school?
So it was so good. And by the way, the study hall was 3 classrooms that were opened up into one massive room. So it was, the final year kids all the way down to the first year. So the entire school, of boarders, it was day pupils and boarders, but all the boarders, of which I guess there was like 300, all in this room, super wide room. I got the whole room gave me a round of applause. This is not a joke. This is like, I'm not making this up. So I got a round of applause. The whole room applauded how impressive, because it went on for like ages. You know,
Oh man.
you know. But the teacher did not appreciate it for some reason, because teachers had to volunteer. You know, teachers had to look over us over study hall, right?
So
the
what you can't top that though. What are you going to do for an encore? Have a dump? Like you?
Yeah. I shit in the
peaked
desk.
them,
I shit in the desk.
Just go. There's more.
Anyway, so the teacher was pissed off, right? And I guess they knew it was me, probably because I was like bowing. Somehow they knew it was me. It went on so long, by the way, like it went on so long, they were able to hone in, where is that noise coming from, right? So the teacher was not happy and put me in the front of the study hall on my knees.
So put you on your knees.
Yeah, it was a he, actually. I can't remember exactly who it was. It doesn't really matter, but I know it sounds so archaic, but being put on my knees in the study hall, I didn't care. Like, it was just like, hey man, you gotta take a hit for a magic moment of entertainment. So anyway, I'm on my knees in the front as my punishment, which I wouldn't be able to do today because of the soreness from my ACL repair.
And also at your age, if you were farting in front of 300 kids, you'd be arrested. You can get a round of applause.
Classic tale of a bishop. Yeah. So anyway, next thing, I hear the deans. I'm not going to name him, but I hear the dean. So there was a guy that looked after us. He was the disciplinarian. I hear his shoes coming down the hall, and he walks in and he sees me on my knees, and he's like, right, I'll be back. Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger me. Walked right out. I heard his shoes get decreasingly loud, you know, as he went back to his office, right? And then there was a period of silence until I slowly heard those shoes come back in volume until he walked in with the strap. And in front of everybody on my knees, I got 2 on each hand in front of everybody. And that was the most momentous strap that I got, which it did hurt, but at least I was able to go down and sit down. And that's why I included him in the opening of my special.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you must have been a legend for an afternoon.
Oh, I mean, I was a legend for a few reasons in St. Peter's. The other reason was, I think in 1991 and 1992, I was the only human being in Ireland that could beatbox. It became more widely known as a way to make beats later on in the years. But these fellas from Wexford, because I'm coming over from New York, you know, and I've gone to boarding school and, you know, whatever. I got on great there. Like, I'm still friends with some of these guys. Like, it was the quintessential life-changing experience for me that I wouldn't give back for a gazillion dollars. Like, it made me into the human that I am today. And the culture shock and all that is just like, it was just so amazing. And these guys were so awesome. But I loved performing. And one day in study hall or like in some like get together, there was a mic and they were like, does anybody want to get up and do anything? And I got up on the mic and I started going like,
before you said what you were doing, what was everyone else doing?
I can't even remember, man.
Just
like,
singing.
I did that once too. I did that once too. But this time I got up and I started going like, and like the whole place was just like, how are those noises coming over his face? I've never seen a face making those noises like that. Oh my God, he's quite talented. Like, you know?
Jesus.
He's quite talented. That fella, he makes music with his face. Like, you know?
He's possessed. He's possessed. He's speaking in tongues.
So then for the rest of my time in St. Peter's, they'd be like, do the beat, do the thing with your lips there, you know, do the beat. So, no, but another time there was a huge assembly hall, like the whole school after one of the teams won, actually our team in 1992 won the Leinster Final Football, which was the first time that St. Peter's had won in Gaelic football because they were traditionally a hurling school. So anyway, the whole school was up there. And so I had gotten a reputation for being like the cheerleader and like, so the assembly is about to finish and the senior, so I was like a year below being like a senior. So the senior kind of like guy that was like leading all the chants, Roger Doyle was his name, great guy. Stig was his nickname. And he says, he whispers in I nearly named him there. He whispers in the priest's ear, we're not leaving until we get the yank up here, right? So the priest goes, Stig wants the yank, right? So the whole school starts chanting, yank, 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 right? And there's like 600 kids, right? Because this isn't just the Borders now. This is the whole fucking school. And you got to understand, I got chills now just thinking about it because I'm such a ham. I love attention. You know, like this is like my fucking wet dream to be this demanded in front of all these kids. And it's like most people's nightmare. It's like I can't wait. I get up there, like, yank, 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 right? And I got up and I sang The Boys of Wexford, which is an Irish rebel song about the 1798 rebellion, right? And the whole school
do a bit of that for context. Sort of
in comes the captain's daughter, the captain of the Yos, saying, brave united Irishmen will ne'er again be foes. 1,000 pounds I'll give you to fly from home with thee and set myself in man's attire and fight for liberty. We are the boys of Wexford who fought with heart and hand to burst in flame our galling chains and free our native land. So anyway, I sang that, which is, for the British listeners, not a great song for you guys. But anyway, no, it's about the 1798 rebellion, which happened in Wexford on Vinegar Hill, where the people used pikes to try to take on the yeomen, but they failed. But it was the beginning, just historically, what's considered the beginning of modern Irish revolutionary history, 1798.
Wow.
And it led to the dissolution of the Irish Parliament, Grattan's Parliament, in 1800. And that was the beginning of British direct rule over Ireland. So it's not just a song, it's a history lesson, but also a happy memory from my life. Back to you, John.
And really, that's what this podcast is. This podcast is not a podcast. It's a history lesson and a memory. So thanks, everybody, for listening to School Days by Des Bishop.
School, and John, you're the one that brought school into it.
No, you know what? But yours is like a proper coming-of-age story. And
yeah, maybe some Hollywood superstars will fucking hear my story and turn it into
Hey, you never know. You never know.
No, we'll be talking about that soon.
I got some. You never know. You know what I'm saying? I got some contacts.
A story
But
a story of a wayward teenager who has a problem with alcohol, gets sent to a country famous for its alcoholism to try to turn his life around.
But
and
it's got
an angry
everything.
priest and 600 Wexford people are very impressed by his beatboxing and ability to sing rebel songs.
But it is. It's got all the ingredients. It's got a fish out of water because you're being sent to a country you don't want to be. It's got a dilemma.
No, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there.
All right, then. But you're still a fish out of water. You're not
Fish out of water,
from
100%. I made a whole career out of it.
You're also young wayward lad with a drinking problem. That's why you get sent. Family desperate for a solution. That's why you go there. And then a coming of age. And then you're the outside, and then you become the one who leads the rebel song. And you've also got, I can just see the pivotal scene, the fart moments. we have a young Des like that for 3 minutes looking at the camera going,
But the thing is
and the eruption, you can imagine the cinema going, wah!
Yeah, that's
And by the time we get this made, you'll be able to pump the smell into the cinema in realistic terms for the 3D experience.
Yes. But so the fart is actually the inciting incident because that's the tension that develops between me and the priest. But in the end, the priest has to bring me up, and even he's proud that I can sing The Boys of Wexford.
Yeah.
Because he's from near, coincidentally enough, this guy is actually in real life from near Vinegar Hill. So it comes around, and he respects me until later on.
So you can sing The Boys of Wexford whilst playing the harmonica with your ass.
Bum Dylan. Hannah hates puns. She would hate this.
Oh man, I can't top that. I can't top that.
Just for the this will be for the Irish listeners, but my other Wexford rebel song joke is there's another rebel song called Bull of Oak, but it gets very high, right? So my joke would always be, I learned quickly that you can't start Boulevard too high, but I would sing it, but I'm done with singing on the pod. Unless you want me to sing it, then I'll sing it.
No, I want you to fart.
Do you want
fart. I feel we've missed out on the farting phase of your career.
Do you want Boulevard?
Go on.
Boulevard? Are you ready?
Yeah.
At you have to start low. At Boulevard, as the sun was setting, all the bright May meadows. I'm trying to do it in like the way the Irish tenors do it.
Yeah.
Oh, Shelmalier, a rebel hand, set the heather blazing, and brought thy neighbors from far and near. Let me know when you want me to stop. Then
keep
Father
going.
Murphy from old Kilcormac spurred up the rock with a warning cry. Arm, arm, he cried, for I've come to lead you for Ireland's freedom. We fight or die. So that's the first.
That's the first.
That's the first verse of Boulevard.
Yeah.
Father Murphy was a character in the struggle. Anyway,
boys,
well,
honestly,
there you go.
I don't think we can top this podcast.
You never know how an episode's going to go.
No,
There's a lot more singing. When we got together and ChatGPT said it would be a good idea for John and Des to do a podcast, are people aware that you did that? Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
Did we actually talk about it? Brad, did we talk
I don't
about
know. I
that?
don't remember you talking about that.
So,
Well, no, it's just that I've thought of me and Des doing a podcast for a while, but I was already doing another podcast. He was busy, and then I was saying to Des, I think it's a good idea. You know, the cross-Atlantic thing, the long-term relationships, the same surname, all of that stuff. So, I just thought it would be a good thing. So I went on to ChatGPT and put it in. And well, you can tell them the results, Des, because
well, I think you actually, I think on the official call where you said, I think we should do this, you had already done it. And you said,
I had.
This is what ChatGPT, who was already annoyed at you for calling it the wrong name, was in a bad mood. ChatGPT gave this I can't remember, but it was a really astute observation about why it would be a good idea and what we should do and what we should avoid. And coincidentally enough, it said avoid singing. But it's really been shocking the amount of singing that we have done on this podcast.
The amount of singing on it. It did say some gay input would be handy.
Yeah. It said get a gay guy.
Get a gay guy, a Gen Z
Just to
guy.
just to bring a
balance
bit
it
of
up.
diversity and a bit of youth. But it said a fat gay guy. So
No,
I
no,
guess
I'm sacked.
A cuddly gay guy.
Yeah,
Get the
cuddly
cuddly
gay.
gay fella.
yeah, we
Not a
wanted
sharp
cuddly- We didn't want a jagged cheekboned. We didn't want
Yeah,
a cut gay.
Yeah, there's enough cheekbones on here. But it's interesting. It said because we've both obviously got a fan base, we both talk about comedy, but in different stories. We've both had different stages of our lives, and because you've got the Irish American slant on things, and I've got the UK, Liverpool, and Irish slant on things, it would be a good combination. So I think it proves that AI knows what it's talking about, because this is fun.
And it knows how to do intro songs too, which we would have had if you weren't so
well,
fucking on your high horse about AI. But anyway, I'm fine with the
I've yeah, that's what I mean. We've got enough, and yeah, and I didn't want to give all the credit to ChatGPT. Anyway, that's fucking AI. Right.
All right, well,
lads,
great episode.
I've rented a van, so I've got to go and pick a van up.
Why did you rent a van?
Because you may not know this, but when you have this accent once a year, you've got to drive around in a van. just go to shops and buy stuff. Like, have you got any bags of screws, lad? Yeah, no, big job I've got on. No, I'm moving some stuff around. So, and because I'm going on tour, and you know what it's like, it's looming. I think. And I sort of talked with Melanie yesterday, and it was all of a sudden that I got if you don't get these jobs done before you go on tour. They're not happening again for another year. So go and get a fucking van. So
All right, well, go be a man with a van.
I'm going to be a man with a van. All right, thanks for
Thank
this,
you,
lads.
everybody.
This is great fun.
Like and subscribe. By the way, I'm in San Francisco the weekend after next. So if anybody's
You're
in
in San Francisco
Yeah.
the weekend after next. So what weekend is that?
the 11th, September 11th to the 13th, great day to fly. So I'm flying to the West Coast on September 11th. And then I'm in Vegas then for the whole week afterwards, September 15th to the 21st. So
Where are you doing in those places?
Punchline Comedy Club, San Francisco, for Iconic, one of the iconic ones that I've never done. So that's exciting, you know? And like equivalent of like London Comedy Store, Iconic. And then I'm doing, the Comedy Cellar has a Vegas outpost. So I'm doing, so I'm doing that. So I'm back in action, folks.
I'm just trying to see when we did San Francisco. What was the venue we did, Brad?
That
it was the Punchline. It was the Punchline we did.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
did
was
it?
going to say it.
The Punchline. And what had happened, because the way that little tour that we did was organised, we were supposed to do Seattle and then hang around for 5 days or something to do another venue in San Francisco. I can't remember what. And like, we'd sold some tickets, but not loads. We were into the hundreds, and I said, "Look, I really need to get home." You know, my dad was just about to go into hospital. I said, "Look, I need to get home, and if we can get San Francisco moved to the day before we do Vancouver or Sacramento, whichever one it was, we can get off." And I can get home to go to my dad and see him before he goes into hospital. So the promoter moved it around. But we ended up losing, obviously, people from the audience. And we ended up, I think it was like 54 people came to the Punchline Comedy Club, right? Which is fine. You know what I mean? You get there, you go, it's fine. And then there's 3 of them with these German blokes who were just there from Germany. Working
Randomly coming to the comedy club.
Randomly coming. But they were a laugh. And then there was 2 people sat on the front. I don't even remember it, Brad. 2 girls. And you know, like the way in America, you order at the table and they bring you food and all this. So I'm there doing a tour show. So there's British people there who are going, "Oh my God, how did this happen? You're in the Punchline Comedy Club, and like we only ever see you in big venues." But then I'm sat, and the people who sat in the front row couldn't give a shit. They didn't obviously had no clue who I was. They were just ordering the food whilst I'm talking. They're ordering the food, they get it, and they're like that, and then they're discussing between themselves who's having the chicken wings and who's having the fries.
That's American comedy.
And I just stopped. I said, "Listen, you 2 have no idea how fucking massive in England I am." I said, normally in England, I can't even see the face of the people in the front row of the audience, let alone hear them chew the food that they're eating. They're literally...
That's American comedy, baby.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I have to say, I loved the gig and I loved the venue. The venue is, I see what you mean by iconic. Brilliant venue. Brilliant.
I'll give you a report in a couple of weeks.
They have in the dressing room like a Polaroid camera.
Oh, yes.
Took on a John. John's picture is so scary.
I wish we could get that polar. We should get that up.
I don't know if I took a picture of it, but you should look for it. They'll be on the wall.
They stick it on the wall.
I guess you'll do one.
Yeah,
but John's is like so dark. It's just like his face, like floating in the middle.
It's just a sad face of how did this happen? I could hear it chewing.
So funny.
Brilliant. All right. Well, listen, everyone. Thanks to the normal stuff. Like, subscribe, spread the word, because as we said, I'm enjoying this. Yeah, and you know what? If for whatever reason you don't spread the word, and we decide that we won't do this as a podcast, every week us 3 are going to make this phone call anyway.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, take care. Ta-ra.
Bye.